Down, down.
Magnetism is considered the first cousin of electricity, for they are very much related. Electromagnetism is a part of physics that deals with the relations between electricity and magnetism. It is a term used to refer to the ability of lodestones to attract iron. A material having this property is called a magnet. So you must have seen this shape and form already. It is called a bar magnet. Now, if you bring an iron nail near to this bar magnet, they will attract towards each other and the iron nail will stick to the magnet. As you can notice, the bar magnet has different ends, and we call it the north and south pole. When we try to stick both north pole of two magnets or vice versa, it will repel with one another. However, if we try to connect both the north and south pole, it attracts towards one another. Amazing, right? Here's why. Let's give an example in our illustration earlier. The iron nail sticks to the magnet bar. Ever wonder why? The one that is responsible for that is the force of attraction. It binds the magnet and the nail together. The force is applied by the magnet on the nail. Hence, it's called magnetic force.
All magnets have something called a magnetic field. It's invisible and it surrounds the magnet, causing a magnetic force. This is what causes the magnet to either repel or attract. The magnetic field always follows a few basic guidelines. Magnetic field never crosses. It's always from north to south. It's most concentrated at either pole and it has the same strength.
Now, let me ask you two questions. First, is magnetic force a contact force? Let us look at this again. We notice as the magnetic bar moves towards the iron nail begins to move forward towards the magnet. Therefore, we can conclude that the force came into action despite of the absence of contact between the magnet and the nail. We can now say that the magnetic force is not a contact force. To emphasize this, if we try to move the magnetic bar near the nail and try to move it, the nail tends to follow the direction of the magnet even without contact. Hence, it proves that the nail is under the influence of magnetic force even without any contact present. This also tells us about the existence of the invisible field called the magnetic field around the magnet. If we try to bring any ferromagnetic material near the magnet, the material will stick to it. This brings us to our second question. Does the strength of field constant throughout the area of magnet? Let's give you another set of examples. Assume that you have a Wi-Fi router at home. It gives a signal in all directions with a given range. We can only connect our devices to the router if we are in the reach of that range. The signal will be stronger if we are nearer the router and gets weaker as we move farther. We can think of magnets the same way.
Although magnetic field lines all have the same strength, the magnetic field is stronger when it's close to the magnet. It's because the field lines are more concentrated, increasing the overall strength of magnetic field.
Quick trivia. Did you know that our Earth behaves like a magnet? This is because Earth's core is believed to be a mix of iron and nickel, giving the Earth its magnetic field.
Vascular plants have two distinct organ systems, a shoot system and a root system. The shoot system consists of stems, leaves, and reproductive parts of plants, flowers, and fruit. The shoot system generally grows above the ground where it absorbs the light needed for photosynthesis. The root system, which supports the plant and absorbs the water and minerals, is usually underground. Now, let's get deep into it. In shoot system, there's a stem. Their main function is to provide support to the plant, holding leaves, flowers, and buds. Of course, they also connect the roots to the leaves, transporting absorbed water and minerals from the roots to the rest of the plant, and transporting sugar from the leaves, the site of photosynthesis, to desired location throughout the plant. Branches are parts that grow from the stem.
Leaves are the main sites for photosynthesis, the process by which plants synthesize food. Most leaves are usually green due to the presence of chlorophyll in the leaf cell. Flowers is reproductive part of the plant. They come in different size, shape, and color. By the process of the pollination, flowers is developed into fruits which are eaten by us. Meanwhile, the root system have three major functions: anchoring the plant to the soil, absorbing water and minerals, and transporting them upwards, storing the products of photosynthesis. Some roots are modified to absorb moisture and exchange gases.
Animals, human for example, have a very broad and complex topic. It will take forever for us to go through it detail by detail. Therefore, we will try to explain to you in the most concise and simple way. In the more advanced animals, there are usually 10 organ systems: integumentary, the skin, skeletal, muscular nervous, endocrine, digestive, respiratory, circulatory, excretory, and reproductive. The human body's largest organ is the skin, or integument. Skin protects body tissues against injuries and helps regulate body temperature.
The bones in the body form a framework called the skeleton. This framework supports and protects the softer tissues, while higher animals have an internal skeleton with a central spine or backbone.
Information about the outside world as well as the inner workings of the human body speeds to and from the brain and spinal cord, these nerves. Nerves are bundles of the long, tube-like extension of the nerve cells. Impulses fired through them uniquely convey information throughout the body.
The endocrine system is a collection of glands that secrete chemical messages we call hormones. These signals are passed through the blood to arrive at the target organ, which has cells possessing the appropriate receptor. Meanwhile, digestion takes place in a series of organs. Together are called the alimentary canal. Digestive system processes the food we eat and prepare its nutrients for the body to use.
The respiratory system is the organism's apparatus for taking in oxygen and expelling out carbon dioxide and water vapor.
The human cardiovascular system is composed of the heart and the blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Its purpose is to provide nutrients and oxygen to the tissues and to remove waste from them. It also wear from the body, fights infections.
Reproduction is the process by which a living organism creates a likeness of itself. The process may be either asexual or sexual. The organs, glands, and other structures that enable an organism to reproduce are known as the reproductive system. Asexual reproduction have different types, which are budding, fragmentation, binary fission, vegetative reproduction, and spore formation.
Simple organ systems are found in many lower animals, in flatworms for example. The nervous system is composed of two cerebral ganglia, nervous clusters in the head that function as the brain, connected to the nerve cords that connected throughout the body. However, some animals such as jellyfish lack organ altogether. In this animal, all functions are handled at the tissue level.
Hi! Now let us talk about dilution of solution. But first, let us break down the terms. Solution are homogeneous mixture of two or more than components. Its composition and properties are uniform throughout the mixture. A solution is composed of a solute and a solvent. A solute is a substance that can be dissolved by a solvent to create a solution. A solute can come in many forms. It could be solid, gas, or liquid. Generally, a solvent is a component that dissolves solute and it is in the largest quantity. It also determines the physical state in which the solution exists. Meanwhile, dilution refers to the process of adding additional solvent to the solution to decrease its concentration. This process keeps the amount of solute constant but increases the total amount of solution, thereby decreasing the final concentration. Dilution of solution comes in three kinds. First one is the dilute solution, which is relatively small amount of solute dissolved in the solution. The second one is the concentrated solution, which is relatively large amount of solute. The last one is the stock or standard solution, in which the solution contains the precise mass of solute in the precise volume of solution. Positively, the most common dilution in our everyday life is melting ice in a beverage. As the ice absorbs energy, it melts into liquid water. This dilutes the initial beverage, giving it a watered-down taste. Do you know that most laundry and dish detergent are diluted so that the consumer can use it without further modification? That's all, Maristas. I hope that you learned from us. See you next time!